Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff appears to now be living rent-free in the minds of many conservatives. All it took was one quip about a close aide to the president. He's even got Fox News talking about him.
This is the first time we have covered Ossoff on the show in 6 years. I'm not even doing this tonight at 8. This guy read a little crack that his staff put in the prompter. So what?
In a CNN analysis, Brian Stelter, I can't find my words this morning. Let's try this again. Brian Stelter, in an analysis at CNN, writes about Ossoff's campaign earning praise for doing a great job of peppering his speeches with new lines and attacks on Trump that are designed to get clipped and go viral. So is it also providing a blueprint to Democrats for the midterms and beyond?
It's been amazing to watch this White House melt down over this all week. And whether it's Natalie Harp printing out Donald Trump's daily dose of delusion and flattery, or Peter Navarro steering taxpayer-funded loans to Trump family investments, or Pete Hegseth deluding the president daily into deepening this quagmire in the Middle East, no one cares about their feelings.
The group chat is back. Alex, I want to start with you on this. I mean, you've written about Jon Ossoff. It's not that this is something new for him to go after Donald Trump, we should point out, and corruption is what he likes to make his campaign about. This is a little bit of a shift that seems to have worked for him this week.
It worked in terms of certainly getting him booked on lots of TV and also getting him in the conversation. I also found it notable that you saw in that clip, he was also on MSNBC the night before, where he really sort of walked back his, obviously his insinuations about them having an improper relationship, Natalie and the president. And you've seen him, so it's unclear if the fire was too hot and he's backing away from it, or he did what he wanted to do by getting it out there, getting everyone to talk about it. But you are going to see, I mean, a lot of Democrats are completely cheering him on, think it's completely fair game. And, politics we're in a nasty era of politics, and voters are not punishing people for it. And so they're going to keep doing it.
There has been such an interesting discussion both on TV and off TV, I will say, even just personal discussions I've had about how to even approach this story in some ways, right? Because the pearl clutching among conservatives for a comment that some people saw certainly as insinuation, others did not, is rich, given what we have heard from the president and many others over the last several years.
Yeah, I have two parts of this that I feel really strong about. One, he's doing exactly what President Trump does. How many times has President Trump thrown huge grenades into conversations that I always say, especially when something big happens, he has reporters go chase this story, and so he's doing other stuff over here. I mean, that's like the diversion, and the bigger and statements, even the better in regards to him. What I do feel sorry about being a young White House staffer is for her, and knowing how you get attributed to sleeping with your boss just because you're a young woman, in regards to, and not getting fair opportunities because of that. So there is a part of me that feels sorry for her a little bit as well, because she's part of the conversation.
So I don't disagree with you, but Jon Ossoff, Democrats, and the media would not know about this if people from inside the House were not leaking. So people are talking, her own colleagues are leaking this. It was in Game Change. This has not been the first time. There's been many stories written about her. So we wouldn't even know who she was. There are these people around every president. They were there with Joe Biden. They were there with Barack Obama. Nobody knew who they were because nobody from inside the building or people around the president were leaking about them. So it is very unfair to be in this situation. But clearly, her own team and her own colleagues think this is an issue, or they would not be talking about it, and it wouldn't even been in Game Change.
Well, but also, I'm not saying it's a Democrat thing. I'm just saying in general, I think
absolutely,
it's unfair because you automatically get that assumption that you're doing something.
Totally. I'm just saying that we wouldn't even know about this for Jon Ossoff to even speak about it if people inside that building or around in Trump's orbit didn't think she was a problem.
Former aides to Donald Trump used to say that controversy is actually not a distraction. It's a way to drive a message. And he has been a master of that. But what you're seeing with Jon Ossoff here is doing the exact same thing, that the controversy actually elevates the issue.